Hello, welcome back to our series. We are on chapter 10, which is the final chapter of the series, and it is how to identify emotionally mature people. How to identify emotionally mature people. So, in this topic, in this chapter, we're going to be discussing how you can identify emotionally mature people, and so that you can develop better relationships with them, because and what they will look like, right? Because you don't want to just be looking out for emotional immaturity, you also want to look out for emotional maturity, so that you can develop better relationships with these people. So to start with, of course, we need to remember, as we have been saying from this entire series from the very beginning, that the reason why we look for people who feel familiar is because familiarity feels safe. And as I was talking about in chapter 9, if you don't break the family patterns that hold you back, the family patterns that make you make the same decisions over and over again, then you're going to find that, yes, you're seeking familiarity, but the problem is that you'll be finding the same familiarity you've had in your childhood, which was very destructive. So you're going to find that you're repeating the same patterns, not because you want to repeat those bad patterns, but because it's all that you know, and because you've not done any reflective work to find out what are the better things that you can have in this life and in your relationships. And so, if familiarity is what we are seeking, then we might as well start developing better habits so that you can find better familiar things. I think that goes without saying. And so this is what we should be looking for when you're looking for emotionally mature people. These are people who will help you become better because they are looking to become better. These are people who will help you develop better skills, better relationships, better ways of being. They're going to be instrumental in your journey of emotional maturity. So, to begin with, emotionally mature people are realistic, they are reliable, and they are reasonable. So these people do not have, they don't build castles in the air. They're not flaky, and they are not unrealistic. Like, they're very reasonable in their expectations and in their communications, in their behaviors. They're not people who will be unreasonable. So think about the person who you consider a reasonable person, a person who has straight head, somebody who you can sit down and have a logical conversation with, and they will not feel attacked or whatever. You're just having somebody you can have a logical conversation with. That person could be on the spectrum of a very emotionally mature person. And I said they're reliable. They're people you can count on. Think about the person in your life right now who if you call, they can come through for you. That is a reliable person. Somebody who does what they say they're gonna do. They're not wishy-washy. They are very reliable. And these people are also very realistic. As I said, they are not building castles in the air. They do not have expectations that are out of this world. They are very realistic about what is possible in your relationship and in life in general. These people are consistent in character across different situations. They're not people who you cannot really tell how they're going to behave. They're people who are very stable in a way. Emotionally stable, especially, that their character, they're not all over the place. They're people who are very stable. And by stable, I don't mean that they will always act the same way, but that their character will always remain strong and reliable, even under different circumstances. They're not people who will be all over the place. So that is an emotionally mature person that you should be looking for. They don't take everything personally, especially when things are not personal. They know how to take criticism and feedback without taking it personally. So for them, if you tell them something, they won't be like, you're attacking me every time that you speak about something. Of course, there are situations where people attack each other. But with these people, they don't take everything personally. They understand that some things are not personal. Some things are beyond me. Some things are not about me, And for them, that is a thing. It's a way of being that they are. So think about those people. They don't see mistakes as the emotionally mature people see mistakes as mistakes. They don't look at it as malice. The first, if you make a mistake in their presence or towards them, the first assumption they have is not that this person is being malicious. They won't be like, you're being malicious, that's why you're doing this and this and this, that's why you made the mistake, or you were trying to attack me, or you were, that's not their first assumption. Their first assumption is that this is a genuine mistake. And it's not because they are ignorant that people can be malicious. It's just that their default is not to assume that everybody is being malicious, that you're not being malicious in your interactions with them. And when you make a mistake, It was just a genuine mistake. So for them, they are very generous in their assumptions towards you and towards the people around them, and even towards themselves. They're very cautious and they're very generous with their assumptions that you're not being a malicious person in this particular situation. So yeah, I think that's important to know. These people are respectful and reciprocal in that it's not always take with them. It's a give and take in the relationship, in the interaction with them. They're not always there to meet their own needs. They are also there to meet your needs. They want you to feel like you're part of being in a relationship with them, that it's not just about them. They're very giving. As much as they take, they also give, and they're very present for you the same way that they expect you to be present for them. So it's very reciprocal and it's very respectful, and it's not about keeping score at now I gave you last time, so you give me this time. It's not about that. It's just that they know how to balance the relationship. So think about that even as you develop that in yourself. Look for that in other people who are not keeping score, but they are also not just sitting there and expecting to take. So yeah, I think that's important. Emotionally mature people are flexible and they compromise, but they do not pressure you to get their way. So for them, yes, they are willing to compromise and they are willing to be flexible with whatever you guys are discussing or whatever situation is at hand, and they will not pressure you or manipulate you so that they can get their way. They're not there to get you. These people are genuinely people who want the best for you. So they're not there to manipulate you and take advantage of you. And so you have to be very keen to see these things in them, so that you don't assume every nice person is manipulative. Because you see, it's very easy to confuse. We have seen so many people who pretend to be nice so that they can manipulate you in one way or another. And it's very easy to judge emotionally mature people that way, because you'll think this person is too nice, this person is too present, this person is so reliable and so respectful, so reciprocal, so realistic, and you'll be like, this person can't be true, this person must be manipulating me so that one day they can take advantage of me. It's very easy for people to think that, and I urge you to not assume that of them the very first time that you meet them, because it can be very hurtful for them, of course, but they also understand that it's not your fault, it's because it's what maybe you've seen in your life. And so these people are not there to get you. They're not manipulative. They're not there to get their own way. They will not lie to you or give you half truths so that they can get their way. They are there because they want to be there and to be with you. They want to develop a genuine relationship with you. Those are emotionally mature people. Emotionally mature people can manage their temper and they don't withdraw love. So you know how some people, when you're in conflict or you are going through a rough patch, they can become very withdrawn, and not even withdrawn. They can withdraw their love and their affection from you as a way of punishing you for something that you've done. Emotionally mature people are not out to behave like that. As I said, they are emotionally mature. They know that withdrawing love does not make you feel, that does not help you correct your behavior. It only makes you feel rejected. And so they're not there to do that to you. The same way that they don't expect you to do that to them. So if you are a person who withdraws love, you may struggle with this, but please learn to not withdraw your love even when you're in conflict with people. Remember that nobody heals in isolation, and nobody heals when they are shamed. Nobody heals when they are judged. People heal when they are loved. So they will not withdraw their love from you just because you guys are in conflict. Emotionally mature people are not threatened by your individuality. Remember when we mentioned some traits of emotionally immature parents, we say that for them, they see you as part of, as an extension of them. So your individuality is scary to them. And so with an emotionally mature person, your individuality does not scare them. It actually makes them happy because they can see that you have taken time to develop yourself, to become a better version of yourself, to keep growing and becoming better in every single way. And so for them, they don't feel threatened by your individuality. They want you to show your individuality because they want to see the real you. Individuality makes them love you even more. They want to see the real you. They do not want to see a version of you that you're copying from somebody else, a version of you that you're creating so that you can seem lovable. That is not what they're looking for. And they'll actually feel really bad if you develop a persona just to impress them. They'll be like, they will feel lied to. They'll feel cheated because for them, they're showing you their genuine self. So they'll feel cheated the moment you start showing a version of yourself, or if they later find out that you are not the real you, you've been lying this entire time, which makes sense. If you're genuine with people, you want them to be genuine with you. That's just how the maths. Yeah. So yeah, those are emotionally mature people, not threatened by your individuality at all. Emotionally mature people take perspective. They see other people's point of view, and they're curious and they're teachable. So for them, they don't claim to know everything, and they have no desire to know everything because nobody can know everything. They're willing to learn. They're curious about you. They want to know about you, and they want to see your point of view. That's why your individuality matters to them, because they want to see how you see the world. They don't want to just keep showing up as themselves and you showing up as a version of yourself, So for them, they will take your perspective. They will look at things from your point of view. They will listen to you. They are curious about you, and they're very teachable. They will want to learn the things that make you happy, the things that make you sad, the things that make you proud, all those things. They are very interested in learning more about you. Emotionally mature people are honest, they are genuine, and they don't give false impressions because they are very secure in themselves. Again, this is tied to the individuality thing. They have developed their own individuality, they are very secure in themselves, and they expect the same from you. And so they will be very honest with you. They'll be very genuine. They will not give you false impressions about who they are or who they are not. They are not out there to create a facade for you to think that they are these nice people who are glorious, and they are, that's not what they're going for. They're going for the real authentic themselves. They are going to be very honest with you. If they're struggling with something, they will tell you they're struggling with something. They do not have time to beat around the bush and play games. That is not how emotionally mature people act. Emotionally mature people apologize, and they make amends, and they change their behavior. As we keep saying, a real apology requires a behavior change, and so emotionally mature people are willing to make a change in their behavior for it to reflect the apology that they're giving you when you guys are in conflict. So for them, it's not just about saying I'm sorry, it's about saying I'm sorry and doing something to show. And that something is about changing the behavior. If they hurt you in one way or another, they're not going to repeat that act because they already know that it is harmful to you. So yeah, think about that. Emotionally mature people are responsive and they're empathetic. So they listen, they are present, they are very in tune with you. They are trying to connect with you on a very emotional level, and for them that is important. They are very responsive to your needs. They do the thing we said about emotional labor. They're very present, and they learn you. They're interested in learning you so that they can be responsive to you when you're in a particular situation. So yeah, that's emotionally mature people. Emotionally mature people make you feel seen, understood, heard, and they remember things about you. They are interested in you. As I said, they're curious and they want to know you. They are also very interested in letting you into their world, and they're looking for intimacy. So for them, they understand that for you to develop intimacy, you have to let people in, and you also have to go and visit their world, right? So for them, they will make you feel seen and understood because, as I said, they're empathetic, and they will remember things about you because they're doing emotional labor on a day-to-day basis with you, and they are interested in you as a person. They are very curious. They want to know about you. They want to know the things that make you tick. They are very, very curious about you. They have no desire to, again, beat around the bush. They want to know you. They demand intimacy because they want intimacy, and they're willing to go deep with you. They are not there to be superficial. They're not there to have these superficial tiptoeing friendships that we have, where we never really address serious issues in our relationships. That's not for them. And they're very quick to tell you in one way or another that they are looking for a deeper connection, because that is something that they understand, that intimacy is what makes relationships. So for them, that is important, and I hope it's going to be important for you as well. So remember, with them, the relationship is not going to be one-sided, because, as I said, they're interested in your world, and they're interested in letting you into their world. They will not just be pursuing you and never letting you into their world. So the more you guys share, the more you'll get to see their world, the more they'll get to see your world, and that is something that brings them genuine joy. They're not doing that to score points or to be seen as this person who is like this. They're not trying to create a persona. I don't know. I hope this thing is making sense. So yeah, I think that is important to think about. The emotionally mature people like to comfort and to be comforted. So again, it's not one-sided. It's two-way. If it's respect, it's two-way. They will not expect you to respect them but never respect you. They will always respect you because they expect you to respect them. If it's comfort, when they comfort you, they expect to be comforted as well, because they understand as a human being you need those needs met. And so they are very comfortable with their emotions. They're very secure in themselves, as I said, and they have no desire to hide. They are there 100%. Emotionally mature people are self-reflective. They accept feedback and they are continuously improving. When they do, you know how when you can do something and you don't think about it, and then sometimes you do something and you keep thinking about it. You're reflecting on it. You're trying to see, how did this thing go? What did I do? What was my part in it? How would I have done it better? Things like that. That is self-reflection. That is going back into a situation and trying to analyze it. And so emotionally mature people are self-reflective like that. If you've had an interaction that feels off, they will go back to themselves and be like, we had an interaction, this is how it felt, this is what happened, this is what was said, this is how it went, what could I have done better in this situation, what could I have said better. They will reflect on individual situations and they will want to develop the relationship with you because that is something that is important to them. And so they will accept your feedback. If you tell them this particular thing that you did offended me or made me feel this way or made me happy, whatever you tell them, they're going to accept that feedback and they're going to sit with it and to try to see how they can incorporate it in their lives to make the next interaction with you a better interaction. Remember, these people are interested in you the same way that they expect you to be interested in them. So think about that. Think about that. They have a sense of humor and they can laugh and play. I don't know how to explain this because play does not mean that you have to be constantly doing childish things, like being childish. Like play is a very important thing, but it's also very difficult to pinpoint. They're playful, but they know when to be serious. There are people who can have a good time, and it does not have to involve drugs or alcohol or whatever. They're just people who can have a good time. They're not always serious and stiff and rigid. That's not who they are. They're playful and they can laugh at things. They can see the absurdity of the world. They have a sense of humor. They don't take everything seriously. They don't take everything personally. It's very easy to joke around with them, but also it's very easy for them to get serious and go into a deep place with you. So they are very versatile, if I may say. They're not just this rigid thing that is not adjustable. They're very versatile and they're very playful in a good way, and they don't make fun of you. It's not playful about making fun of you. It's not about being sarcastic or being or picking on you just for the fun of it. They're just playful and fun to be around to be around with. Like they're just people you can joke with. They're people you can have a wonderful time with, and these people are very enjoyable to be around, as I said, and this enjoyability to be around them is a byproduct of every single thing that I have listed as a characteristic of an emotionally mature person. When a person is these things, that I've mentioned, when they're not threatened by your individuality, when they can see your perspective, when they can make you feel seen and understood, when they don't take things personally, when they're flexible, that makes that person very enjoyable to be around. So developing these characteristics makes you a very enjoyable person. It makes people drawn to you because you are enjoyable to be with. You are not a pain. You're not a pain to be with. And I would invite you to listen to these characteristics again and see how you can incorporate them into your life. See how you can make yourself this kind of person, because this kind of person is going to draw people who are like this. It's very easy. When you start hanging out with people who do a particular thing, it's very easy for you to become that person, right? Because we influence each other. So if you develop these characteristics, it's very easy for you to meet people who have these characteristics, because you'll be able to scan people mapema. Nobody will, you won't be taken advantage of, because it's very easy for you to see when people are taking advantage. It's very easy for you to see when people have hidden motives. It's very easy because you are self-reflective. You are continuously improving. You're learning. You're curious. If you are having a conversation with somebody who does not want to let you in, then it will be very hard for you to let them in, because you feel that it's very one-sided. So you'll be able to spot one-sided relationships very early on, and then you'll be able to adjust accordingly in every single relationship. So I would invite you to, again, go back and listen to these characteristics. Try to develop them in yourself. Pick one. Start with that one. The easiest one that you think you can do, start developing that characteristic in you. And not just because you want to draw people like this, but just because you want to become a better version of yourself. So try to become this person and look out for these people when you're looking out for emotionally mature people, so that you don't get duped by people who are lying, people who are trying to manipulate you. If you develop these characteristics, you become a better person. If you find people who are like this, you get better relationships. So it's a win-win either way. So I would invite you to do that. Remember, for you to develop the healthy relationship habits, you have to be willing to ask for help, and that means letting people in. Don't think that you have to be this person who has it all figured out, this person who has all their ducks in a row, this person who has all the answers. They never ask for help. They're very strong. They're the people that people lean on. That makes you some form of robot. It's very hard to connect to somebody who never seems to have any issues. It's like they're always hiding their issues from you, and so you really don't know how to connect with them, and it feels very one-sided again. So be willing to ask for help from friends, family, people who are close to you. Let them in, so that if you let them in, they will let you in to their lives. So consider that. Be yourself without malice. Don't try to please people. People pleasing is a characteristic of people who are trying to manipulate others into one thing or another. Don't try to people please. Don't try to maximize yourself or minimize yourself just because so that people can see you a certain way. Be your genuine self, and the people who are aligned with you will be drawn to you, because your real self is the thing that draws people in. It's not this fake thing that you create, this fake persona. So try to be yourself. Find ways of becoming that yourself. And remember, you can start with these characteristics of emotional maturity. That is a good place to start in becoming yourself. Sustain and appreciate emotional connection. Without emotional connection, there's no intimacy. Without intimacy, relationships fall apart. You need to have reasonable expectations of yourself and of others. Let go of perfectionism. Rest. Stop trying to do everything all the time. Stop trying to be superhuman. You're not. You're a human being, period. So rest. Just let go of that desire to be perfect. Nobody expects you to be perfect, and you should not expect it of yourself or others. Develop clear communication and focus on what you can control. Remember the serenity prayer. I keep talking about the serenity prayer, that you need to get to a place where you can learn what is within your control, what is not within your control, and do what you can. Yeah, and that is not a sign of weakness. That is a sign of strength. That is a sign of wisdom, because you're doing what you can. And that does not mean that you stop developing yourself. That means you can develop yourself, but be aware of what you really can control, so that you can stop worrying about so many things, so that you can stop trying to be perfect. Yeah, so I think that is important. That is important information that I needed to relay to you. We have come to the end of our series, our 10-part series on emotionally immature parents and their adult children. And as I said, this series was inspired by the book by Dr. Lindsay Gibson called Adult Children of Emotionally Mature Parents. I hope that you have gotten a lot of value out of it, as much as I did. I got a lot of value out of this book. I took so many notes. I have been practicing a lot of the things that I read in that book. I am happy I read the book, because it also gave me language for some things that I never knew how to explain, like especially with emotional intimacy. I wanted to learn more about emotional intimacy, and this book gave me language, because there are some things I would want in my life, but I did not know how to explain them to other people to see how they can help me achieve those things. So especially with emotional intimacy, I am to a degree a big internalizer. And I again, this book gave me that language. I didn't know that was a thing until I read the book, and I realized some of the characteristics that I portray are very much internalizer-like. And I also saw some issues with my externalizing that I had not seen before. It gave me a level of self-awareness, and I am really super grateful that I read this book. I'm also very grateful that Dr. Lindsay Gibson took time to read the book. Of course, writing a book is a labor of love, and you can't really ever understand just how hard it is to write a book, especially to write a book on something so heavy, on such an emotional topic. I'm very grateful to the author. Superb work. I hope you can share this stuff with other people in your life, and you can help them understand what emotional intimacy is, what emotional maturity is, what emotional immaturity is. You can share with them. I hope this book will help you develop better relationships with your parents if you grew up in a household that had emotionally immature parents. I hope this book will help you develop better relationships with your children if you have children, and that you won't repeat the emotionally immature parenting techniques that you might have seen in your family of origin. And I hope that this book will generally make you a better person, especially with learning emotional maturity, what it looks like and what you should be aspiring to. And so I wish you all the best in this journey. I wish you all the best in as you become an emotionally mature person, as you become a person who has relationships with emotionally mature people. I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much again for sticking around till the end. You are a real one. Thank you so much. And I wish you nothing but the best in the coming days, weeks, and months. And I hope this sticks around for long enough for other people to hear. Share widely. Let us spread this information. Let us demystify mental health. Let us demystify relationships. Let us make the world a better place. One YouTube video at a time. So thank you very much again, and I wish you all the best.